Yo, what up, everybody? It is your boy Fitzmonk TV here, aka G133. I want to welcome you guys back to the Legit Shoot podcast here with your Smackdown Live review and results for January 10th, 2020. Thank you guys for joining me back here tonight on the channel, here to talk a little Smackdown. And gonna be honest with you guys know I am always brutally honest with you guys here on the podcast. Smackdown did not matter. It really did not matter at all tonight. Nothing on the show really happened that caught my attention. You know, if you watched last week's show, this week's show was pretty skippable. I'm just being honest, really. You know, you had The Miz and John Morrison. You know, Morrison making his official return on SmackDown, and it looks like Miz and Morrison, they're going to be a heel tag team going forward, which I don't mind, because you need tag teams right now in the tag team division. So that's a plus. You know, you had the Otis and Mandy Rose storyline, which is probably the best thing on SmackDown Live right now. You know, I just love Otis and Mandy. They have great interactions. Like I said, I don't know if are they actually dating, like in real life. I still don't know what's going on with that situation, but I love their interactions. The Roman Reigns agenda is back. You know, you guys know how much I love the Roman agenda. I get so excited to talk about it every single time. You guys can hear the sarcasm in my voice. You know, it's a road to WrestleMania, so that means the Roman Reigns agenda is back in full swing. So get ready, guys. It's going to be a great road to WrestleMania, because the big dog is going to main event WrestleMania for a 5th time. Alright, we should get him a $5 footlong to celebrate. Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt, they're continuing their build towards the Royal Rumble, and I feel like they sort of got back on track. You know, the last couple weeks has been a little bit slow with their build, but you know, I feel like they got a little bit more back on track tonight. I'm not gonna say the show was bad, but nothing happened. You know, Braun Strowman versus Shinsuke Nakamura, I just didn't care. You know, I don't care. And Lacey Evans as a babyface is just the tropes that gets worse and worse every single week. It's like WWE's trying to force Lacey Evans to be a babyface when it's just not the role for her. She's more suited to be a heel. She's just not meant to be a babyface. WWE just wants her to be a babyface because, you know, they want a blonde to be on top of the women's division, you know. And Sasha Banks was not there tonight, which, you know, made me sad. So SmackDown wasn't really that enjoyable tonight. It wasn't a bad show, but nothing really happened that was important, in my opinion. Nothing at all. This was a very skippable edition of SmackDown Live. You know, but we're going to go over all that and more here on the podcast here tonight. You know, as always, I want to thank you guys for joining me. If you guys haven't yet, we are on the road to the Royal Rumble. As we get closer, I'm going to have way more videos coming out with rumors, all that kind of stuff. If you guys haven't yet, check out my Monday Night Raw review. Raw was better than SmackDown this week. You know, I'm not saying SmackDown was bad, but Raw was actually decent. The first 2 hours of Monday Night Raw, you know, were pretty good, pretty decent. It was the third hour of Raw when things, you know, fell off the cliff, but still, Raw was definitely better than SmackDown this week. This was, like I said, a very skippable episode of SmackDown. One thing that I want to bring to you guys' attention before we get into SmackDown tonight is, excuse me, my voice. There's been a lot of rumors going around about John Cena. We talked about this a couple weeks ago, but John Cena is looking like he will be returning for WrestleMania this year. You know, he will actually be wrestling. You know, this was the first year, 2019 was the first year where John Cena did not have a match at all on WWE television. You know, the last match Cena had on WWE TV was, I think it was like a 6-man tag team match he had on Raw. I could be wrong. Or it may have been that tag team match he had with Becky Lynch when they went up against Andrade and Zelina. But Cena has not had a pay-per-view match on WWE TV in over a year. This is the first time that's ever happened in his entire career. And I miss John Cena. I know he's doing very well in Hollywood right now. He's gonna be in the next Fast and Furious movie, which comes out later this year. He's gonna also be in Suicide Squad. Cena has a lot going for him right now. So congrats to John. He's getting his name out there. It seems like he's just getting in more and more big projects. You know, I'm just wait till we see John Cena in the MCU. Anyway, John Cena is going to be most likely wrestling at WrestleMania. I know Cena did an interview recently when he talked about how he still loves WWE. He considers it's his family, but he's just not full time anymore. He talked about how him not wrestling in the last year, just showed how WWE is not the biggest thing in his life anymore. He's now moved on to Hollywood. He's 42. He's not nearly in the prime condition he once was. Even though he still can wrestle, he just doesn't feel like he can do it at the level he once was. Do all the show dates, all that, which is totally understandable. 42 is pretty damn old for a sports athlete. It's pretty young for a normal person, but 42 for an athlete is pretty damn old. But there has been all these rumors, and he said in the interview how this year's WrestleMania is going to be in Tampa, where he lives. He lives in Tampa, so it would basically be a home WrestleMania for him. And there's been rumors saying how Cena wants to have a big role on the show, and everybody's been trying to speculate what Cena's match is going to be. And since sadly it looks like I've been a big advocate for us to get Cena versus Bray Wyatt for the Universal title because the storyline is there. It seems like that's not going to happen because the Roman Reigns agenda is in full swing, and it looks like we're going to get Roman Reigns versus Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania this year. But John Cena's back. I think what's going to happen most likely is we know Brock Lesnar's in the Royal Rumble. Is there a chance Cena is in the Royal Rumble? Yes, there is a chance that Cena will be in the Royal Rumble this year. Will he win the Rumble? No, he's not going to win. It's most likely going to be Roman Reigns. Even though I still hope it's not. I feel like the chances are very, very high that Roman Reigns will win the Rumble this year. And whoever eliminates Brock Lesnar will be most likely be Lesnar's opponent for WrestleMania. But if Cena's in the Rumble, I can definitely see him eliminating Lesnar and then them giving Lesnar versus Cena at WrestleMania. Hey, why don't you do something like career versus championship? If Lesnar defeats Cena, Cena has to retire officially from WWE. No more part-time appearances. He's done. He's retired. If Cena wins, he gets his 17th championship reign. You know what I mean? We've all been waiting for years. We know WWE's eventually going to do it. Cena's going to get number 17, to officially put him back or officially push him ahead of Ric Flair for the most world title victories of all time. But how long, whenever Cena eventually breaks that record, how long does he hold it? Because we know one day Charlotte's going to surpass that record. Sadly, she already has 10 in 4 years. Absolutely ridiculous. But still, you guys know where I'm going with this. Honestly, I don't mind us getting Cena versus Lesnar at the Royal Rumble, at WrestleMania. You guys maybe say, what? A part-timer? Yes, I hate the fact that part-timer, if they do Cena versus Lesnar at WrestleMania, that a part-timer would be taking a spot on the WrestleMania card away from a full-time competitor that deserves him more than Cena. I don't care that Cena's a legend. Cena's one of the greatest, arguably the greatest WWE superstar of all time. But, if he does have a match at WrestleMania, especially a world title match at WrestleMania, it would just be, it wouldn't be fair to other people, guys like Kevin Owens, Aleister Black, Samoa Joe, that are there every single week working their ass off. Cena was once that guy. He was the face of the company for over a decade, but he's been gone. He's moved on to Hollywood. It wouldn't be fair, but if you look at the landscape, and this is more WWE's fault, who honestly deserves on the main roster right now, especially on the Raw roster, who deserves a WWE Championship match against Brock Lesnar? Honestly, nobody. Seth Rollins, no one wants to see that again. Kevin Owens, I would love to see it, but Owens hasn't earned anything. Aleister Black would be my pick, but Aleister Black hasn't done anything to earn a WWE Championship match. Samoa Joe, I would love to see Joe versus Lesnar again. I feel like they could give us a much better match than they gave us at Great Ball of Fire a couple years back, but I don't see that happening either. I feel like, you know, the dream match would be Matt Riddle, but I don't see Vince McMahon giving an NXT superstar a big, championship match at WrestleMania. I just don't see it happening. But we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see going forward. It's gonna be interesting, But as we get close to WrestleMania, I'll keep you guys updated on the John Cena situation. Like I'm saying, Cena versus Lesnar, even though there's many reasons why it shouldn't happen, I wouldn't mind if we actually got Cena versus Lesnar at WrestleMania. But I just wanted to go over that really quick, since I didn't make a separate video talking about the John Cena situation. I just thought, why not cover it on the podcast tonight? But we're going to go over SmackDown. Like I said, SmackDown didn't mean much, but we're going to get into it. So basically, the show started off with The Miz coming out, and then Miz, you guys remember last week, it looked like we were getting the first signs of a Miz heel turn in the works. Miz is kind of boring as a babyface. He doesn't do anything to me. He's a much better heel than he is a babyface. And it seems like we are going to get heel Miz. Miz last week with the attack on Kofi Kingston. Tonight he came out and he basically apologized for what he did against Kofi, because he just said he was having a bad day. And he went on, he just went on rambling, and then he introduced John Morrison with like the biggest energetic reaction anybody could see. It was kind of funny. I'm happy to see John Morrison back, but let's be honest here. How long will John Morrison actually feel important, feel special on the main roster? Probably not long. It will only probably be a couple weeks till John Morrison doesn't feel special anymore on the main roster, and he just goes back to being a normal guy, kind of like he was back in the day. It was great to see Morrison. He looks in fantastic shape, but I just don't see anything that tells me Morrison's gonna feel special after a couple months. You could say like the same thing about Sheamus. You know what I mean? Sheamus made his return last week, and Sheamus actually had a promo tonight, talking about Chad Gable, but it didn't feel anything to me. Sheamus, like I say almost every week, Sheamus is SmackDown's version of Drew McIntyre. World Championship potential, a guy that can have a great match with a lot of superstars. A guy who's attentive, big. All these different things. You can say all these little adjectives to describe. But a guy that WWE just doesn't know how to book. You had Sheamus's, return last week when he kicked Chad Gable. But then he goes right back this week to just doing the same promos he's been doing the last month and a half. What was the point? What was the point? If you're gonna do Sheamus versus Chad Gable, give me the match already, or at least have Sheamus come back face. I'd rather have Sheamus back facing a local jobber, just so we could see that he still has the in-ring ability, that his injuries haven't hindered him. But I don't want to see no more Sheamus backstage promos. I've seen enough of them. You've made your point. You're back, all right. You're a heel again. You want to reestablish dominance on SmackDown. But oh my gosh, I just saw a big ass cock. Oh my gosh, is that a cockroach? A big ass bug just flew in my room. Low key, I just want to kind of pause the review low key and go kill it. So if you guys see my eyes wandering during the rest of the review, you guys know why. That thing's just crawling up my closet right now. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's gonna be a distraction. But either way, the fact that I didn't even see it, I like how did I don't even know how it got in here. Like the windows are almost always closed in my room. I can't wait to kill it after this review. But like I said, you had Sheamus for like, come on. Like, I hate when WWE does that. Like Sheamus and John Morrison are in the same boat to me. How long till they don't feel important to us on the main roster? How long? Yeah, that's just me being honest. But Miz, you know, reintroduced John Morrison. I'll say this: I love John Morrison's entrance. You know, one thing that disappointed me: where's the slow motion effect? You know, when he's doing his little pose and the slow motion is going when he has the power in the background. You know, out like why? Where is it? Come on, man. Hopefully it comes back, you know, when Morrison actually makes his in-ring return, his official in-ring return. But still, man, like John Morrison is not John Morrison without the slow motion effect. We need that. But Miz gives Morrison the background. He does his entrance. He comes back. They showed a video package. This was for fans that, you know, hadn't seen John Morrison in years and need to be reintroduced to him, or for new fans that have come along since Morrison, because Morrison's been gone for nearly a decade. He left at the end of 2011. It's 2020 now, 9 years. This was for fans that, for you know, who may not even know who John Morrison was. But the video package talks about showing Morrison's accomplishments. They showed a lot of highlights from back in the day when Miz and Morrison were a tag team, and they won the tag team championships. They were a very good tag team way back in the day, like talk about late 2000, like 2008, 2009. But Morrison thanked Miz for the video package. Now he was happy to be back, and basically Morrison then said there was originally a plan for him to have more of a grand return. I said it last week on the podcast. I'll say it here tonight. Morrison's return should have been saved for the Royal Rumble. It would have felt more, you know, special. You know, I remember, like I said, remember when AJ Styles made his debut in the Royal Rumble in 2016? You know, how about when an NXT superstar that you didn't expect enters the Royal Rumble? Absolutely love it. But Morrison, he said how they were planning to give him new theme music, a new T-shirt, you know, all this stuff, and they were actually gonna have him come out with small dogs, you know, just a little Roman Reigns joke, because there's only room for one big dog, hence Roman Reigns' nickname. That joke was kind of corny, very, very cringe, very corny to me. I don't even know why they really mentioned it. But Morrison, after talking about how he was good to be back, you know, he said he was disappointed in the fans for booing The Miz when he had one bad day. You know, and right then I was like, okay, you know, even though John Morrison, I was surprised because last week you did tease The Miz turning heel. You teased it last week, but after seeing Morrison return in the locker room, you know, I was like, John Morrison, he was a top babyface in the company. He was very, very popular in the company after, you know, like around 2011, 2010. Very, very popular. All the fans loved him, you know. He's a fan favorite. And then I was like, all right, Morrison's coming back. There's no way they're going to turn him heel right away. Maybe down the line, but, you know, Morrison's too popular for them to turn him heel. Well, it looks like he's going to be a heel going forward with The Miz. You know, like I said, he got on the fans. He even pointed to, like, two fans in the crowd, basically saying, look at you, boy. You think you can do what Miz does? You know, you think you can be a WWE superstar, do what we do every single day? And I kind of laughed because he was pointing to some redneck. You know, he had like a red snap and a red T-shirt. He looked like a redneck in my opinion. Just sitting front row, and I just started laughing. I just couldn't stop. Then the New Day come out, and basically there was a back and forth mainly between Kofi Kingston and The Miz. Big E said a couple words, but it was more Kingston and The Miz, continuing what they had last week. Miz said he respected Kingston for, holding the WWE Championship for 6 months, but he also respected Kofi for only holding the WWE Championship for 6 seconds. I don't know. I'm kind of getting tired of it. But it seems like every heel, that's the joke they retort to with Kofi, how he only held the championship for 6 seconds. Or how he lost the championship to 6 seconds against Brock Lesnar. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get it. I really don't get it. But then Kofi said that Miz was reverting back to the whiny, annoying Miz, which is true. We all know Miz as a heel, even though Miz is a way better heel than his babyface. I don't expect to see anything different with the Miz. He's always been on TV a whiny, annoying character, a guy that talks for way too much. Like I remember Miz said about Morrison that Miz said Morrison was the biggest guest in Miz TV history, which made no sense to me because he said the same thing when Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan were on Miz TV on the Raw season premiere back in September. But I don't know. But this would lead to Michael Cole. He revealed that we'll be getting a rematch this week between The Miz and Kofi from last week's show. I was not surprised because Morrison was not wearing ring gear. Big E wasn't really wearing any ring gear. So I was like, yeah, we're probably going to get a rematch. They're saving John Morrison's in the ring return probably for the Rumble. Unless they do it next week, which I don't think they will. But I don't know. I won't be surprised. We'll probably get like Miz versus Big E next week. But this is leading towards a SmackDown Tag Team Championship match. I don't know if it's going to be at the Rumble, but we're definitely going to be getting a Tag Team Championship match between Miz and Morrison against the New Day, which I don't mind. SmackDown Tag Team Division, if booked correctly, can be really strong. Like I say every week, every single podcast episode. The two things WWE needs to focus on building back up this year are the tag team and the women's divisions. And, Raw's tag team division is absolute garbage. There's only 3 teams. SmackDown actually has 7 to 8 teams if you look at it. You have the Usos, who just came back. You have Miz and Morrison. You have the New Day. You have... Oh my... That thing's still flying. Like, if you guys hear like a buzzing sound, you can hear that thing flying. I just don't want to stop the review to go kill it. But, you have Revival, that's 4 teams right there. You have Heavy Machinery, that's 5 teams. You have Rude and Ziggler, 6 teams. You have, and I'm forgetting a couple. I think if you want to consider Cesaro and Nakamura a team, if you want to consider Mustafa Ali and Shorty G a team, you have 8 teams. You have a good amount of teams on the SmackDown Tag Team Division. It's just building them up and making them feel important. Raw's Tag Team Division is in shambles. They need teams more than ever. It is bad. It is really bad how bad their Tag Team Division is right now. But SmackDown, they have no excuse not to have a good competitive Tag Team Division. But Kofi Kingston versus The Miz, basically at ringside, we had Morrison and Big E. They were going at it on commentary. They had a funny little back and forth. But this match was nothing more than the match they had last week. Like I say every single week, one of the things that makes Kofi and Sasha Banks so good is they're always coming up with unique offense. Improving. Miz is doing the same boring stuff each and every single week. Miz's offense is so boring. It's so, has no intensity to it. It doesn't make you actually feel like, ooh, look at that kick Miz delivered. It's not exciting at all. It looks like such a generic kick. So boring. And Miz was on WWE Backstage this week, which I watched. Miz was talking about, I want to be the face of the company. I want to hold all the championships, Even though I've done so much in my career, there's still so much I believe I can do. Well, he wasn't showing me that tonight. All right, when you're doing the same thing every single week, you know you're not improving. You're just going through the motions. I don't want my champion to be that boring. You know, one thing that I love about Kofi is he's always, switching up his style, always finding new moves to do. Miz is just going through the motions, But near the end of the match, Miz put Kofi in the figure four. Kofi got to the ropes. Then Kofi rolled out in the ring to try to recover. Then Big E went to check on his partner, but then Miz came out and then kicked Big E in the face. Basically, more signs of Miz turning heel. Then John Morrison came out of nowhere, did a nice flip from the ring steps, from the steel ring steps on taking out Big E. That allowed Kingston to get distracted because he went over to Morrison. Miz comes from behind, hits him with a Skull Crushing finale, gets the victory. So Miz gets his win back. So like I said, they're building towards a Smackdown Tag Team Championship match with Miz and Morrison going up against the New Day, which I don't mind at all. Like I said, we're probably going to get Miz versus Big E next week, and that was my prediction. We still have 2 weeks left to the Rumble, so I expect Morrison to be in the Royal Rumble match, but it'll be interesting to see how they do it from here. I can definitely get behind this feud, and will Miz and Morrison be the ones to take titles from the New Day? I don't know yet. I wouldn't mind it, but I feel like you need to build Miz and Morrison a little more up, especially since there's fans out there that may not know who John Morrison is. They are still getting used to him. Some people getting used to him being back. I would just give it a couple more weeks. Backstage we had Otis. We had Mandy Rose. Mandy Rose was backstage in the locker room preparing for her match with Alexa Bliss. Sonya Deville comes up and she's very excited. She's like, this year's going to be our year, and we're going to start it off strong, starting tonight. And then Mandy's like, yeah, before my match, I still got to take care of one thing. So Mandy had a big white box, and we all knew where this was going. Like I said, Mandy versus Otis is 1,000 times better than anything they're doing on Raw with Lana and Lashley. Like Otis and Mandy Rose are probably the best storyline on WWE TV right now, or at least on SmackDown right now. I love this storyline. I'm invested in it, and I like to see what they're doing each and every single week with it. But basically, Mandy had like a cake, and she found Otis backstage, and Tucker was trying to tell Otis to move on from Mandy. You have better things to focus on, like the Royal Rumble. And I kind of hope Otis has something planned for the Rumble. I feel like Otis could be very entertaining in that type of match. I love the Royal Rumble match. I'm actually excited for this year's match to see, what kind of surprises, what kinds of things happen on the road to WrestleMania. Excuse me. Alright, but Mandy found Otis, and Otis's eyes, whenever Otis looks at Mandy, man, Otis has priceless reactions, right? Somebody should just make a compilation video of Otis reactions. That guy is hilarious. So Otis is looking at Mandy, and Mandy apologizes to Otis for what happened with the cake last week, or the fruit cake a couple weeks back, and she actually hands Otis a cake, very, very sweet, and Otis, the way he was looking at the cake and he was tasting the cake, I absolutely loved it. So then we get the match, Alexa Bliss versus Mandy Rose. I didn't really care about the match because I don't really care about an Alexa Bliss match. I don't hate Alexa Bliss, but she just doesn't do anything in the ring for me. Nothing, But Bliss had the advantage early on in the match, but then Deville causes the distraction, which allows Mandy Rose to take advantage. Then Bliss fights back. Then it looked like Alexa Bliss was about to get the win. Heavy Machinery interrupt, and this was kind of weird because Alexa Bliss is the babyface now, and Heavy Machinery, they're a babyface tag team, but Heavy Machinery comes out. Otis is has the cake that that Manny made for him, and it felt a little bit weird because why is Otis coming out in the middle of the match? Why couldn't he wait till Manny came backstage? But still, it distracted Bliss, and then Rose was able to get the roll up, getting the 1-2-3 to beat Alexa Bliss in a shocking victory. I'm happy for multiple reasons, right? I love the Otis and Manny Rose storyline. It would make a little more sense if Manny was a babyface, but who knows? I love where they're going with this, and still, you need to build up your women's division. All right, we know who Alexa Bliss is. Alexa Bliss, losing to Mandy Rose isn't really that important. It's not going to do anything to her, to be honest. You need to make people like Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville feel important. That's why the Women's Royal Rumble coming up is important, because you need to make your women's division important this year. You need to focus on building it back up. You want to have a second all-women's pay-per-view. You want to have Evolution 2 to happen. Make the women's division feel important, so you don't have to rely on the Beth Phoenix and the Trish Stratus and Lita and all these other legends from the past coming back. You know what I mean? So I'm happy Mandy got the win here. Hopefully, I'm telling you, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, they're good. They could be future challengers. Sonya Deville, I think she could be a women's champion one day in WWE. I hope they, build them up this year. I really do, So I'm happy they got the win here. And I hope they continue with this Otis and Mandy Rose storyline. Also, after this, Elias came out. Real quick, Elias came out and, he was playing a song. He was having the WWE Universe clap onto it. In my opinion, it wasn't Elias' best song. It didn't really matter to me too much. Elias just basically was going on about the Rumble match, how he's going to win it, how he's going to defeat Lesnar, all this other stuff. I really didn't care that much. But, yeah. Elias is just, they have him do the same thing every single week. Just go out there and play his guitar. Lacey Evans versus Sasha Banks. This match never happened. Alright? Thing is, I hate when WWE does this, because they advertised this match for a week. They've been legit since last week on SmackDown in the main event. What was last week's main event? When the Usos returned last week to save Roman Reigns, they've been advertising this match all throughout the week. On social media, on their YouTube page. Lacey Evans was promoting it on her social media. So was Sasha. And because we've been waiting for the clash, because for weeks now, it's felt more like Lacey Evans was going up, more like Lacey Evans versus Sasha Banks than it was Lacey Evans versus Bayley. And Bayley's the SmackDown Women's champion, Last week they had Dana Brooke, more like Dana Trash. They had Dana Brooke pin Sasha Banks, No follow-up on that. But this match never happened. How are you going to advertise a match all week just for the match to never happen? I love Sasha Banks, but still, don't advertise a match if you're not going to have it happen. They advertise it to be the main program on SmackDown tonight. It made no sense in my opinion. But, Lacey Evans comes out. She goes to the ring, preparing for her match against Sasha. Sasha never came out. Her music played, but she never came out. The second I didn't see Sasha come out before the remix of her song played, I was like, she's not coming out. She's probably not there. She's trolling. Great heel move by Sasha, but still. Bayley appears on the Titantron, and then she tells the audience that Sasha was not going to be here tonight. She's in LA, and that she's still filming her music video and her album. You know, I thought at first that Sasha's album thing was kind of a was just a joke from WWE. There was just joking around about that. Well, it actually looks like it's actually happening. A Sasha makes and Bailey or a Sasha makes album. She filmed or she posted on Instagram multiple clips of her, actually in the booth in Snoop Dogg's recording studio. You guys know Snoop Dogg's her cousin, and she kept posting like behind the scenes of it looks like a music video shoot. So maybe I don't know. It's like they're doing a new remix for her song, or I don't know, but still we're getting closer to the Rumble, and we know we're gonna get Bailey versus Lacey Evans. I expect Bailey to successfully defend. Even though there's some that believe Lacey will actually win the title, I'm praying not, but it could happen. It could happen. Bailey becoming champ, or Bailey losing to Lacey, and I don't know, because Lacey does not deserve to be champion. Lacey Evans is terrible. She's terrible. Lacey Evans is not meant to be a babyface. Her character is not meant to be a babyface. It's like WWE is trying to force her into something she's not. Lacey Evans should be a heel. She should be a heel. After Bailey said that Sasha was not there, Bailey then said, the only reason why she's there because she is required based on her contract to be at the show tonight. Basically, Evans balks at the explanation, and Bailey then said she was not Evans' snot-nosed kid and would not be his protest because Lacey actually challenged Bailey to a SmackDown Women's title opportunity right then and there. First of all, Lacey, what have you done to deserve a SmackDown Women's Championship opportunity? You haven't defeated Sasha. You haven't defeated Bailey. You haven't even pinned either one of them. I don't believe I'm actually about to say this. Dana fucking Brooke deserves more of a SmackDown Women's Championship match than you do. At least Dana pinned Sasha last week. At least she did something. Lacey hasn't pinned or Sasha or Bailey. Not once. But yet she's out here asking for title opportunities. And like these crowds that are cheering Lacey Evans, I really don't know why. She's garbage. She's very, even though she has some in-ring talent, she's very sloppy. She botches a lot. She's not that good on the mic, in my opinion. Oh, and they keep mentioning how she was a U.S. soldier, and how, about her kid. It's the same crap every single week with Lacey Evans. She doesn't do anything that shows me she deserves a SmackDown Women's Championship opportunity, and she's not a good babyface at all. At all. I'd rather have Carmella, face off against Bailey than Lacey Evans. It's really that bad. It's that bad. Lacey, and the thing is, speaking of Carmella was on a winning streak the last couple weeks. She was defeating Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville and etc. But yet, Carmella goes right back to catering. Like, please, Lacey Evans is garbage. Garbage on WWE television. Especially as a babyface. But they're trying to, push her down our throats. Like, why? I really don't know why. Alright? But Lacey Evans has no business asking for championship opportunities. You've done nothing to deserve one. But yet, we're probably still going to get it at the Rumble. Bailey versus Lacey Evans for the SmackDown Women's Championship. And here's my thing. If you do give us that match, I don't want to see Lacey Evans in the Rumble afterwards. If it should be a rule. I don't understand with WWE. If you have a title match on the Royal Rumble card, you should not be in the Rumble match afterwards. It's that simple. You should not be in the Rumble match if you have a championship match on the show. I don't think Bailey's gonna lose to Lacey Evans. If Lacey wins, I'll be pissed. But hopefully that does not happen. But afterwards, Lacey goes backstage. She actually went up to Bailey's locker room, but Bailey ambushed Lacey from behind, threw her into some production crates. But Lacey then turned the tables, got some payback on Bailey, and that's about Bailey then retreated. That's about it. at least they're putting a little more focus on Bayley versus Lacey Evans. Because, like I said, this feud has been mostly about Bayley and Sasha Banks. Bayley's the champion. I still believe we're gonna be getting Bayley versus Sasha Banks at some point at WrestleMania. How we get there, this is the way I see it right now. I don't know if Sasha's gonna win the Rumble. It's either gonna be Sasha Banks or Shayna Baszler, unless Ronda Rousey returns. At the Rumble, one of those three women are winning: Rousey, Banks, or Baszler. No matter who wins, they'll set up the other program. So if Shayna wins, or if Ronda wins, if one of those two win, they're gonna go on to face Becky at Mania, and then Sasha versus Bayley will probably be set up based on what happens at the Elimination Chamber. If Sasha wins the Rumble, then Baszler and or Ronda facing Becky will be set up based on what happens at the Elimination Chamber. Like, say we get Bayley defending the SmackDown Women's Championship inside the Elimination Chamber. I could definitely see that being where Bayley turns on Sasha, or they have Becky defend the Raw Women's Championship at the Elimination Chamber. Either Ronda or Shayna attacks Becky, and that's where we get the setup for WrestleMania. One of those two things is happening, unless they give us Lacey as SmackDown Women's Champion, and God forbid Lacey Evans is in the title picture going to WrestleMania. Please, I pray no. But Bayley versus Lacey Evans is probably gonna happen. But we can see. We'll have to wait and see. The thing about it is, I'm not even mad that we didn't get Sasha versus Lacey. The match is gonna happen at some point, but I feel like as we get closer to the Rumble, Sasha versus Lacey happening, there's a more likely chance that Sasha would lose to Lacey. And Sasha should not be losing, especially this close to the Rumble. Lacey really can't be losing if you're lining her up for a Women's Championship match. Neither one should be losing. I don't see how you can do a Sasha versus Lacey match without it ending in disqualification and that pissing off the fans. You know what I mean? So, the backstage brawl, it did its job. It's setting more tension up between Bayley and Lacey, but still, we'll have to see. I don't like Lacey Evans as a baby. She needs to be a heel. Next up, I did not care about this at all. Braun Strowman versus Shinsuke Nakamura, 9 non-title match. We already knew that Strowman was being set up for eventually for a Intercontinental Championship match. He pinned Nakamura in non-title tag team match a couple weeks back. I think he defeated Cesaro last week, or did it end in disqualification? I don't remember, but I think he defeated Cesaro last week. But they decided to give us this in a non-title match. I don't know why. Because basically, what you saw tonight between Strowman and Nakamura, if you even watched the match, is nothing different than what they would do in a championship match. The match wasn't bad. I didn't really care for it. I was barely watching, This match wouldn't do anything you saw in this match is no different than something they would do in a championship match. I don't see them having another level they can go on top of this. I don't. That's just me being honest. Alright? And the thing is, they're always having their main champions lose. This is the second time in the last 3 weeks, I believe, that Nakamura has been pinned by Strowman. Pinned. It wasn't even for the championship. Twice in 3 weeks. Way to make Nakamura look like a strong champion. Not only has Nakamura barely defended the Intercontinental Championship, I think he's held the title for now 7 months. He's barely defended the championship since he won it. And now he's been pinned twice. Yeah, Nakamura has been a terrible Intercontinental Championship champion because WWE has not booked him correctly as Intercontinental Champion. And the thing about it is, the match wasn't anything special. Cesaro and Sami Zayn, of course, tried to get involved to get the advantage for Nakamura. At the end of the match, Strowman basically had to fight off Cesaro. Cesaro attack, uh, tried to attack Strowman with a chair. The referee saw it. Then Sami Zayn tried to get Nakamura to hit Strowman with the title belt, but Strowman saw it, then reversed it right into a running power slam. 1, 2, 3. Strowman gets the victory. Again, Nakamura should not be losing clean in a non-title match. This definitely makes Strowman undoubtedly the number one contender. Probably means we're going to get the match at the Rumble, but why should I care? What did they do in this match, that they're not going to do in their next match? There's not, like I said, there's not another level these two can go. Strowman does the same thing every single match. It's one of the reasons why I don't care about Braun Strowman. He's boring as hell. He does the same thing, the running shoulder tackles, the spine buster, the running clotheslines, the leg drops. Strowman does the same stuff every single match, and it makes him so boring and bland because you can see he's just going through the motions. The thing is, and Nakamura doesn't seem like he cared at all. Nakamura in NXT was one of the best performers, if not the best performer in the entire company. But every week with these two, it's the same old thing. It's the same old thing. It's garbage in my opinion. I absolutely hate it. And I want better for the Intercontinental Championship. It's one of the most prestigious titles in the entire company. I just do not care about this feud at all. But like I said, if you saw this match tonight, you're not gonna see anything different or anything that's gonna wow you when these two face off for the title. Strowman's probably gonna beat Nakamura. I don't know why they had Strowman defeat Nakamura here tonight. It made no sense to me, but it's whatever. After the match, Strowman took the Intercontinental Championship that was lying in the middle of the ring, and he held it up for a couple seconds, but Sami Zayn snatched it back from Strowman and said, "It's not yours. You haven't defeated him for the gold yet." Blah blah blah. But it's coming. Strowman's probably going to defeat Nakamura at the Rumble, so get ready for that. Really quick, Bryan and Bray Wyatt, the WWE Championship situation, they didn't really have a actual match on this show, but they had like a small segment. That damn roach, it's still flying in my room. I can't wait to kill it. Anyway, so basically, early in the show, Bray Wyatt appeared at Firefly Funhouse, and this was a good Firefly Funhouse segment. Wyatt appears on screen, and he points the camera to come in close, basically telling the WWE Universe that he loves them. He loves the Fireflies, but he said, who I don't love? Daniel Bryan, and basically, he said when the Fiend first went after Daniel Bryan, he was trying to help Bryan. He wanted to change him for the better, but now the Fiend just wants to hurt Daniel Bryan, and Bray Wyatt was like, I'm very concerned for Daniel Bryan's safety and his future. And then I like this part. They actually Bray Wyatt mentioned how Daniel Bryan did something to him many years ago. We all know what happened 6 years ago when Daniel Bryan fake joined the Wyatt family, and then he turned his back on the Wyatt family. We all know that night in Hartford, Connecticut, all those years ago, when the Yes Movement really started to take shape. I love that moment. And now 6 years later, this is the symmetry, the symbolism. How 6 years ago at the Royal Rumble in 2013, Daniel Bryan brought Bray Wyatt probably to the best match he's ever had on WWE TV. And now here they're back. Here they are 6 years later, facing up at the Royal Rumble in 2020 for the Universal Championship. And how Wyatt said how the Fiend's gonna hurt Daniel for trying to take away the Universal title. Then we see Daniel Bryan. He gets interviewed a little bit later, in the show by Charlie Caruso, and basically Daniel said how Bray Wyatt is not unbeatable and how he will be defeated at the Rumble. He will find a way because he's beaten Bray Wyatt in the past, and he will do the same thing at the Rumble for the Universal title. Then Ruby Rabbit shows up on the screen. Ruby Rabbit from the Funhouse. He says, Daniel, I'm here to help you. Man, I'm a big fan. Kind of like the same thing he said to Seth. I know how to defeat the Fiend. There's a secret. Let me help you. So right as he's about to reveal the big secret on how to defeat Bray Wyatt, Bray shows up and he says, "Snitches get stitches, Ruby Rabbit," and the camera goes black as Wyatt says, "Let me in, Daniel. Let me in." So we can probably guess that Ruby Rabbit dies for a 1 millionth time by the hands of Bray Wyatt. But then afterwards, we pan over to Roman Reigns. And here's one thing I hate. Roman Reigns didn't have a match. He didn't have a promo on the show. But yet they decide, we have to give Roman Reigns a 4-minute entrance. Roman comes out, he does his full entrance with the pyro and everything. Like, why? You're not even wrestling on the show. He just comes up and they give him a 4-minute entrance. Like, damn. Everyone's complaining about how... Oh, I'm gonna kill you. That stupid maggot's right above me. It just flew right above me. Oh, I'm gonna kill it after this. But, I'm always complaining about how the women get no time on the show. Yeah, they get no time, but here's Roman Reigns getting 4 minutes to do his full entrance. I don't know, but the Roman agenda is back in full swing. Roman Reigns comes out and he basically goes on talking about how he's gonna win the Royal Rumble match. How he's gonna go on to main event WrestleMania for a 5th time. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? 2019, we were blessed to not have the Roman Reigns agenda pushed down our throats. You had the focus of, you had the Roman Reigns leukemia storyline, which, I'm glad Roman defeated cancer. I hope he never has to, deal with that disease again, because there's many people in this life that do have cancer and they don't win. They they lose out in the end. But Roman defeated cancer. But thing is, WWE had to push into a storyline. They had to. They at every single turn, no matter if it was a feud or Roman doing an interview, they always had to have him mention the leukemia. Just because they thought, we can use this to gain sympathy for Roman, make him feel, make the fans feel bad for him, and then that would just get, the casuals to boo or they'll cheer him just because they'll feel bad. I'm just like, why? And they did it for everything with Roman last year, The thing is, Roman Reigns last year as a babyface wasn't that bad. He wasn't pushed down our throats. Because we were all so focused on how bad a babyface Seth Rollins was for nearly all of 2018. He was such a bad babyface, So we got to take away, we got to take our focus away from Roman and put on Seth. Basically, Seth was the Roman Reigns of 2019. But then now you can see the Roman Reigns agenda is returning. Every week now they have Roman mentioning how he's made event to WrestleMania 4 times, how he's won the Royal Rumble, how Michael Cole's out there spitting nonsense, how Roman Reigns won the Rumble match in 2015, how he eliminated the most men in 2014, how he defended the WWE Championship in 2016 in the Rumble match. All this garbage. So you could tell Roman Reigns is probably going to win the Rumble match this year, unfortunately. He's going to win it. He's the favorite. And he's going to go on to WrestleMania. He's going to defeat the Fiend with 1 spear, and we're all going to bitch and complain. It has the potential. it has the potential to be even worse than what they did with Roman versus Triple H, and Roman Reigns versus Undertaker, and Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. Alright? Let's be honest, guys. Roman Reigns has main evented WrestleMania 4 times. He's going to probably do it for a 5th time. Tell me, how many of those main events were actually good? Tell me, how many of those main events were actually good? I can only think of one. The only one that was good was WrestleMania 31, when he faced off against Brock Lesnar and Seth Rollins. Heel Seth Rollins cashed in Money in the Bank. Because that was a good match, and the Seth Rollins cash in the end of the show was even better. Because I didn't see it coming, and I know most of us didn't see it coming too. Because we all thought Roman was going to win that match. But, none of us knew at that time how bad the Roman Reigns agenda was going to be. But, oh man, it's coming. The Roman Reigns agenda is back. So then Reigns is out there spitting all this nonsense about how he's happy to have his family back with him. In the past, he had his friends, his brothers. I thought the Shield were your family, Roman. I guess not, right? I guess now that Ambrose is in AEW, Seth's now a heel on Raw. They're not your family no more. They're just your friends. But the Usos, his family, now has his back against Corbin and the rest of his cronies. So the Usos come back. Glad to see the Usos back. Honestly, after the Undisputed Era, in my opinion, the best tag team in the world are the Usos. But Usos come back and they talk about how, they have Roman Reigns' back for everything now, and he'll no longer ever be at a disadvantage against Corbin and his gang again. Baron Corbin comes out, and basically they make a match, Roman Reigns versus Baron Corbin, 1-on-1 at the Royal Rumble. You guys can tell I'm excited, right? I'm so excited for Roman Reigns versus Baron Corbin at the Rumble. I cannot wait. Match of the year. Wow. But confirmed Reigns versus Corbin at the Royal Rumble. We're going to be getting it. And basically after that, Reigns said, I'm going to defeat Corbin at the Rumble, and then I'm going to go on to win the Royal Rumble match and eliminate Corbin from that match as well. Wow. So it's going to be unbearable. We're going to have to watch a Roman Reigns and Baron Corbin match, and then later in the night, watch Roman Reigns come out at entry number 28 in the actual Rumble. I cannot wait. This company, man. I don't know, they should probably just put Roman Reigns and Baron Corbin on the pre-show. But, yeah, WWE would ever actually put Roman Reigns on the pre-show. But then we had the match. I'm telling you guys, as much as I love the Usos, I just didn't care about this match at all. The match actually never finished. Roman Reigns goes to spear Baron Corbin out of nowhere. But then from out of nowhere, Roman Reigns gets attacked by Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode makes his return after, Michael Cole kept saying he was back from injury, but we know that was not a lie. That was a lie. Bobby Roode was actually suspended. He was suspended the last month, because he violated the WWE substance policy, But he's back now. I'll tell you guys next week we're gonna get the Usos and Roman versus Roode, Ziggler, and Corbin. We saw they got Roman Reigns up. Ziggler hits Reigns with the super kick. They did basically the shield power bomb, and they slammed him through the announce table, and that's how Raw or SmackDown ended. Well, after that, they stockpiled a bunch of chairs to Roman, and that was about it. So I didn't really care about the ending of SmackDown. I'll say this: it was kind of symbolic. Roman Reigns being put under all those chairs underneath the announce table debris. Was symbolic because it symbolizes WWE, and how the main roster has been mostly trash for the last couple years. Roman Reigns being under all that trash on ringside represents WWE's storylines and WWE creative as a whole the last couple years. Trash. But that's how SmackDown ended, man. like I said, this show was totally skippable tonight. I'm still surprised that I went over an hour with this review. If you guys watched the whole thing, thank you guys. I appreciate it. But SmackDown was a skippable show tonight. But I don't give them much hope. But let's hope with 2 weeks left till the Rumble. All right, let's hope that they pick up the pace. It's crazy. The Rumble is actually 2 weeks away. I'm actually, as bad as WWE Creative is, I'm actually still excited for the Royal Rumble itself. 2 weeks left to go, and I cannot wait. I hope you guys are excited as well. But that's about it. That's all I got for you guys tonight. I want to thank you guys for joining me here on the Legit Shoot podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed the review. If you guys did and you guys are new to the channel, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, enable notifications by clicking the button next to my name, Fitzmonk TV, so you guys are notified every time I post a new video. Make sure to check out my Monday Night Raw review if you guys haven't yet. As always, follow me down on social media. The links are on the description, or the links are in the description. Yeah, the links are in the descriptions. Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. You guys know the drill. I want to thank you guys for all the love and support. I'm going to get out of here. Have a great night, guys. Peace.